Hello, everyone. We are here to talk about the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 3. I'm Sabina Graves, your resident rogue who does not know as much as the awesome council of people she has gathered here today. So, welcome to the stream. I'm going to go around and have everyone introduce themselves, starting with Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike, and that's who I guess I am. I write for That's in LA, among other sites, and yeah, I'm gonna hand it off now to the next person.
Catrina. Go ahead, Catrina.
Oh, hi. Hello. I'm Catrina Dennis. I am a writer, producer, voice actor, and tabletop RPG enthusiast. And I'm really excited to be here talking about Boba food with you guys.
Yes. And we also have Whitney.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Whitney. So I'm a singer and a baker / theme culinarian. So I love theming and food. So yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited to dig into this conversation with everyone here because y'all are an incredible wealth of knowledge and Star Wars knowledge, food knowledge. Mike and I, we like to eat a lot and we love shows and Disney Plus. So let's get into it with this episode that really kind of just like opened up the world in a lot bigger ways. What is everyone's reaction to what you saw? Whoever wants to jump in.
I generally, I like this episode. I feel like the second one was a lot stronger than this particular episode. I always think of like Fast and Furious whenever someone says like, you're the head of a family. Anyway, but I'm really excited about this one because like, there's just a lot of really special moments, like I'm really excited to talk about our new friend, the Rancor. I'm really excited to discuss a little bit more about like the chase and how I feel about the Star Wars fandom's opinions about it and other fantastic things and certain foods that showed up in this episode. So I don't know, overall I'm kind of in like the 3.5 out of 5 area for this one.
I would say I was in the same ballpark, 3.5 out of 5. There's a lot of we're still in that exposition phase, I guess, because we're still setting up for, I feel like we should be past that, especially 3 episodes in. We're already midway through, and we still don't know who's behind these assassination attempts, like really, truly, because it just plays things close to the vest, so to speak, and we're still introducing new characters, and some characters we don't even get to spend a lot of time with, or we don't get to see Boba Fett exactly mourn like the loss of Tusken Raiders and stuff like that. So I'm just genuinely interested to see how what comes next in this sort of evolution of Boba Fett's story, because as Catrina was saying, he's starting to finally build his empire, but he's still getting disrespected at every corner by like every criminal syndicate that's out there for those 3. But yeah,
all these new characters being introduced and getting to know more about Rancors, like them imprinting on the first human they see, also that they can have depression. I was
Now we know why like the Wrangler in Jedi was so devastated.
Yeah, that's like a lifelong commitment right there.
Yeah,
that was a deep cut though. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
like there's so many emotional attachments, and you get a lot more emotional attachments in this episode. I'm with you guys. I do give it more of like a 3.5. Personally, the second episode I think is my favorite one so far, but you have the introduction of a lot of new characters, and there's a lot more dialogue in this one, so you kind of get to know people a bit more, which is what I did appreciate from this episode. And yeah, hopping back on what Catrina was saying, I was already thinking about every time I say anything with like the letter C, I'm like, Chrysanthemum. So just literally just was on auto. Like, I'm gonna say Chrysanthemum when anyone's name that starts with C comes up. But yeah, I mean, obviously, besides that incredible scene, I really love the introduction of the youths of Boba Fett having to deal with the Vapor Farmer being like, these kids are stealing my supply, and then Boba Fett being like, cool, I'm gonna give you a job, you work for me now. Like, I was like, yes. And like the casting for those roles are great. Like I think we only got the name of one of them, Drash, which is the girl, and in my head now they're just Drash and the boys. So
love it.
Yeah, I also have opinions about that chase scene.
Oh boy.
As well. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Lots to say about it.
Lots to say. Yeah, and then we're here to talk about like noms and like the food in this episode. It's so great to see kind of just like the culinary artistry of it. Like, Whitney, what was your like reaction to just seeing that entire layout? Did you immediately just start being like, I can recreate that?
I literally, I had my boyfriend, I was like, can you please pause that? I want to take a picture of that. That looks so dope. And like, I was like, how can I recreate these dishes and look at what like food sources were available on Tatooine? And it was just like a lot of fun. And I'm excited to like dig into that.
Oh yeah, and it had I think on the roasted creature was a Nuna, and they had the spotchka, which is the blue wine. I'm just like, where can I get this at Galaxy's Edge? Like, will this be a seasonal menu offering? Because I will be there.
My Galaxy's Edge fact before we proceed is that the Nuna that you see there on the plate, it's the same kind of creature. The two small ones that are spinning at Ronto's Roasters. Those are also Nuna turkeys.
That's cool. It's dope.
Yeah.
That's right.
The big
also,
pike is Ronto.
Fennec was also chomping down on a turkey leg sort of thing. So
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, just the entire like the squid looking layout thing, in that dish. That like delicious but also terrifying.
Yeah,
and then the droid with the salads, like with just like all the greens.
I loved it.
I'm surprised that much green can grow on. I'm surprised that much green can grow on a desert planet like sweet.
Well, apparently, like they dined on the mushrooms that grew in the vaporators, so that like grew in the condensation. So that's why that mushroom dish really stood out to me, because I was like, because it's like a vegetarian dish, so you could do a lot with that.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I would think that like Jabba's palace is a pretty big structure, and so I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a greenhouse on property, especially like with the variety of food that Jabba used to eat,
Yeah.
And then of course there's tributes that Boba's getting as well.
For sure. And then you have like Fennec, just like, I just loved their vibe. They're just like in front of this feast and then just discussing how to like figure out who is trying to kill them. And and at that point we're still thinking it's the Hutts, and kind of just like, were you guys a little like underwhelmed at the reveal of it not necessarily being them? Like, I was hoping we would see a lot more than them. They kind of just come in and decide to be like, actually, you have a bigger problem on your hands. We feel bad for you. We're gonna peace out.
Yeah, I'm like, no. I feel like they have to come back. I have some theories. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think about the Rancor and like, Danny Trejo's character being like, oh, he'll be back? Like, do we believe that the Rancor really imprinted with Boba, or had he already seen someone else?
That's true, because we don't know the condition prior to when we saw him before, when we saw him when he entered the scene. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered for sure. Hopefully they don't leave that unanswered. So.
Yeah, because the Hut's just piecing out so easily. I'm like, I
do get sort of like the sense of, I hope that it's not nefarious at this gift, which I literally, by the way, like when they were rolling, we're just like skipping all the way to the end. But I will retrace this back to the beginning. When he rolled in with like the Rancor, I was like, oh my gosh, you gave Boba Fett Danny Trejo as a gift. Like I would accept that gift. Yes. Like he's
a trade. I love that we are continually adding to this cast special lineup of like people over the age of 50. Like,
oh yeah,
they're really, outside of those kids, there really aren't a lot of youngins in this show. And so it not only was it cool to see Danny because he's Danny, but it's like, it's cool to see that like more of these people that are older that don't usually get the spotlight and lead roles or even complex roles, like Danny's turned out to be. Like there's a little more fiber to him than I thought. So just like Whitney said, there might be something going on there. It might just be that he really loves animals. Who knows? I mean, we saw how Malakili mourned the Rancor in Jabba's pit. So to me, I think the relationship between a trainer and a Rancor is pretty close.
I mean, no, I agree. I think hopefully it's more of a like, we'll give him these tools to deal with this problem so we can come back in later. Yeah. So I don't necessarily think it's to like get rid of him, because then they would have to do something about the Pike Syndicate if that is the real like shadow, like, baddie here. But going back to
it could be the fact that the Hutts hoped they would kill each other off, right? And then the Hutts would just basically take over the whole thing to fill that void left behind by Boba and the Pike. So we'll see.
I mean, like, the Pikes are no joke. Like, this is not the first time overall Star Wars has seen them. They appeared back in Clone Wars season 7, and they gave Ahsoka and her friends like a run for their money. They were like really intense bad guys. So I'm interested to see what they become, and like I'm interested to see why it's them and not Crimson Dawn or the Black Sun, which we know more about and we've been interacting with more in other Star Wars media. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you have Robert Rodriguez, who helmed this episode. I think was a really great option to kind of like introduce more of the different characters, not just like Danny Trejo, who like they've worked with each other so often, but specifically Drash and the boys. Like I know people are critical. They're like, it's very Spy Kids like to have this like really cool Matrix meets Power Rangers like gang on the planet. But I'm into it. I was like, they are a moment. I think we should dress up in Batuu as like these like cyber.
Oh, I've got it planned. I'm ready to be drafted too. It's gonna be awesome. But like, but the thing is, I think it's perfectly Star Wars. It's like maybe it's just I grew up with the prequels and like the Old Republic, where like seeing colorful speeders on the streets of Tatooine, that was not strange. And so to like, and I'm sure like there's more to story to it to explain why they have speeders that look so darn new and who they stole them from. But like, just like saying, oh, color on Tatooine, how dare you? Like, come on, it's a spaceport. Like, Mos Eisley and Mos Espa are both spaceports. I know Mos Eisley is, and it's like Espa's not that far off, and so it's not strange to see not shitty things in big cities, I
mean, if there's like a speeder bike culture war between like the new school and the old school, like with the old-fashioned grungy bikes versus Drash and the boys' colorful, sleek bikes. I would love to see something like that, especially if it turns out to be like a Fast and Furious style sort of thing.
Oh my gosh, Boba Fett is dumb, you guys. They're putting Fast and Furious in Star Wars. I love that franchise. Yes,
exactly.
So much. Yeah, I don't know. Like I want to know more about these little freaking Peter Pan kids. I say they're little kids. They're like 25 or whatever. I don't know, 20. Like, but to me, they're little kids. I'm over 30, which means I'm like much older.
They are the children,
you know. It's just like, oh, where these kids come from? Like, why are they a gang? Why are they like the lost kids, the lost boys of Tatooine? You know. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping we get to spend more time with them.
Yes, they give me like Sing Street vibes too for some reason. Like, I hope they break into a musical number. I don't know. But
I love it.
Chrysanthemum's attack on Boba Fett when he was in his tank, and that was terrifying because I literally immediately was like, "Where are the guards? Where are the guards?"
Mm-hmm.
Where was Fennec during that whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm questioning now Fennec's loyalty to Boba Fett.
No.
He came in late. The kid came in first to save him.
I would think. I mean, like the palace is huge. She might just have a whole like entire wing, but I would assume that the Gamorrean guards are just right outside Boba Fett's room, you know, and they came in like they were off getting stoned somewhere or something.
They're like up late, chilling, yeah.
Yeah. They're like on break, and Drash and the boys like jumped in, but that was like the most brutal fight. I was so scared. There was a lot of bone crunching.
You could tell they've been fighting and like defending, together because there's such a cohesive clique and a group. And once they saw their leader, their boss being attacked, they just went in to do what they do together, but for him now.
Anyone else have thoughts on the fight?
I think Black Chrysanthemum, pronunciation, did I say that correctly? I think he's coming back because, I mean, at least like in the comics, him and Boba are kind of working together. So I'm curious as to whether like that's kind of foreshadowing because he let him go and then later on he's going to kind of return the favor, or they're just going to join up. But we have a few episodes left to see that, so.
Yeah, no, I like how Boba Fett definitely, he didn't immediately ask him to join him, but it was one of those where like, he probably knows that this guy has not had like the freedom to, just be on their own, because like the Hutts told him to sell him back to the gladiator thing, and he kind of was given this opportunity to like figure out, go on a self-care journey and decide if you want to come back on your own, find yourself. Like I worked for a bunch of D-bags in my past too. It's like
he was like, hey, go home and think about your life.
Yeah.
Good. It was good.
Clearly the dad vibes in that.
He's gonna come back.
Yeah.
I love Boba's continuous method of like, he's got this thing that like anime main characters do, where like he makes friends with his enemies and then eventually they come back to him. And like, I think that's just like his lifelong thing is like, he's so used to dealing with bounty hunters and all that like he knows how to make alliances and how to forge them without like, scaring people. Unless he has to, then he does.
Like I like the first thing he tells him is, I get it, it's a job. Like no hard
like
feelings.
Relating,
No hard feelings.
Yeah, and then going back, like you guys talking about being scared and all that. With what Catrina said, it goes back to what Fennec was trying to convince Boba Fett how to rule, instead of ruling with fear, rule with respect, sort of thing.
I was honestly thinking at some point he was just going to invite everyone to that table, because I'm just like, you did not eat all that food. Like, have everyone come in, grab a plate, take a plate to go. He could have just been like Chrysanthemum, get some food, to go plates,
Chrysanthemum, here's some food.
Take a plate with you.
Yeah. Like it's basically, I feel like what would happen in a lot of like cultures of color. It's like here.
Yeah,
that's what I was feeling.
Those kids need to be fed. That's also what I was thinking. I was just like, did you feed those children? I would like to see this scene of you feeding these children. Oh my gosh. I love how we all have like our baby Grogu's, just like hanging out with us. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. I know that like that's been like the biggest critique, I guess. A lot of people are feeling like the emptiness of maybe Grogu just being gone. How are y'all like sort of feeling about it? Are you hoping that a really cute thing does appear, or are you starting to kind of be like, no, I'm embracing this show?
Oh, that's the Rancor.
I was about to say.
That's the Rancor. The Rancor is our cute thing.
Yeah.
I can't like that's how I ended the episode. Is like, what is Boba gonna name this Rancor?
Yes, baby Rancor.
He like mumbles.
Baby Rancor.
Like, what are we gonna name you? And I'm like, yeah, what are you gonna name him? I'm like, tell me. So that's my cliffhanger this episode. Is I want to find out hopefully next week what Boba named this Rancor.
Yeah, he needs to be protected at all costs.
Yeah, so what would you name the baby Rancor?
Let's see. Boba's a sentimental guy. He might name it after somebody he knows. So like
True.
Django.
Hondo. Bane after Cad Bane.
Oh, yeah.
One of his mentors / enemies.
That's a good one.
Bane.
Baby Bane.
Baby Bane. Little Bane. And Cad Bane is probably still alive, so that would be kind of funny, you know. He just showed up one day and Boba was like, into the Rancor pit. By the way, meet Bane.
Like, you want to see me ride Bane? I can ride this Rancor. That's like an aspect I'm really excited to see.
Yeah.
I love how Boba Fett's teaching people how to drive, and he's asking people to teach him how to ride Rancors. I love this exchange of knowledge to help each other and build this community.
He's a really he's invested in making positive change and being a badass, and that's all anybody I hope wants from life, you know.
For sure. Do you think that the name dropping of the Witches of Dathomir is gonna come back? Like, please, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that part of the canon, so Catrina, please fill us in. But like,
I leapt off of my sofa and did like a karate kick at like when I heard that mention of the Witches of Dathomir. I don't know if that'll come back in this show. It would be very cool. It's not like Boba isn't aware of who the Witches of Dathomir are. If it's not here, I really think there's potential for Dathomir mythology to end up in Mandalorian because it's very close to Mandalore. They're like neighboring planets.
So cool. I just like in my head visualize like a heavy metal album cover, Witches of Dathomir on the
very like
quiz.
Hex Girls from Scooby-Doo, but it's like, you know what I mean?
I don't know if you guys have ever seen that the mythos statue of Ventress where she's like riding a Rancor like monster, but that was like a tribute to like what the Witches of Dathomir used to do. So the cool thing about that particularly is that fact was one of those that was like quietly just expanded universe for a little while, and so I was really excited to see that brought in because like Rancors weren't they weren't counted as like being present on Dathomir before, and now they are. So it's really cool to see Night Sister lore being built still.
I want to know who else is going to be recruited at this point, or if we're going to maybe see like the baddies start recruiting each other. Like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said Black. I would have like hired Black Chrysanthemum instead of sending him away.
Same.
Boba's gonna need it. Maybe he will need it.
They want the will they or won't they? Like that's what this is. They're trying to like matchmake them.
Exactly. It's I think that my hope is that we do get at least like one more cameo in this series. I don't think we need too many, but with one more, I hope that one more is either Dr. Aphra, because of her connection with Black Chrysanthemum and her overall connections in the Outer Rim. They would be super helpful to Boba. There's actually like 3, I think. The second one would be Cobb Vanth, which I think I brought up like last episode. Like he's one of the main leaders on Tatooine, so that would make sense. And then the third one is Box, the bounty hunter, who was essentially like Boba's Theo growing up, you know, like, so I would love to see him come back in some capacity as well.
Mike, Whitney, are you guys hoping any other folks pop up or characters?
I mean, Catrina pretty much covered it for me. I can't think of anyone else right now. But,
yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah, that'd be pretty dope. I mean, the Witches of Dathomir would be amazing, but right, like, given that we only have a few episodes left, I don't see that happening with this specific one, but hopefully for Mandalorian.
Yes. Which I think is shooting, or like, I think they paused shooting currently. I don't know if y'all saw that on the news.
Yeah.
No,
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Gosh, the show. I'm just like, where's Grogu? I don't hold it against the show that there's no Grogu. A little itty bitty part of me is like, will Grogu show up somewhere? Is he invited to Mos Espa?
Yeah.
Will he be at Jabba's palace? Yeah, no, it's funny that the whole world is like, where's Grogu? I literally talked to my mom, because my mom and my dad watched this show. My dad, his favorite character is Boba Fett, so it's really like cool to kind of see his reaction to this character having a whole show based around them. Like, I had to be there at my parents' house when the episode of The Mandalorian dropped and he was revealed to be on the show, because my dad was like, no way, no, like he was like losing his mind.
Wow. Aww.
And it was amazing. So like I talked to them like the day after the episode drops anyways, and kind of like see how they felt about the episode, and he's very into it. But my mom definitely is more of like, Yodito? ¿A dónde está Yodito?
Exactly.
It's crazy to see.
Oh, go on.
Go ahead. No.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, it's so crazy to see Boba Fett's journey from beginning as a toy. Like, he first was released as a toy, and then he first appeared in the holiday special. So kids were like playing with this toy and seeing him in an animated special, and then boom, they finally see this character. And now, cut to years later, has his own show. Like, who would have guessed, you know, that he would be so successful and popular?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I love that Easter egg. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, just speaking to what your mom said, I think the cool thing about that is like it further proves that like there's, for all the faults that Star Wars has, for all the faults it has, there is something for everyone with Star Wars content and with the stories here. And I really like that. You know, like, you know, you've got this stories that your mom watches for reasons she has because of her interests, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yes. And Whitney, you brought up the holiday special. I really like the Easter egg in the dialogue where Boba Fett was like, I've written things bigger than the Rancor, kind of referring to maybe something that happened in that. I don't think it makes it canon, but this idea of like, he is capable of this. Right. And I was like, I would like to see it. Just saying.
Yes.
Yes. Do y'all have any other like Easter eggs that popped up in this episode that you're excited about, like big or small things that you were just delighted by?
I know, like during the chase when they crashed through the painting of Jabba, that was actual concept art originally for Jabba's palace. That was kind of a fun, you know, little Easter egg.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I didn't know that. I mean, this episode was a lot of fun. So I haven't gotten to do my like third watch where I like really sit down and look at all the different Easter eggs and stuff. But it was really cool again to just see like the Nuna on the plate, because it's like, oh, I recognize that creature from Batu, and like when Boba said like give him a whole Ronto. I was like, oh, cool! I love those.
Yes, they're delicious. One sounds so good right now at like 12:30 in the morning.
Dude.
Yeah, exactly. I was watching it like 8 a.m. I was like, I could go for like a Ronto wrap. I see that right now. The breakfast wrap, man. Ooh.
Dude, yeah, like dust crepes they're called. They're like a Tatooine favorite, and they're for breakfast. And they usually have like herbivore meat, which you would use like chicken for, but it's like chicken and veggies. But I instantly saw that and I was like, that looks so good. I was so hungry.
Real good. Yeah, dude. Like I need to find the recipes that are like not the cookbook recipes, but like the true to park recipes, so I can make some for myself with them. Oh, I miss it. Miss me some Ronto wraps.
Yeah, the breakfast wrap is like my favorite thing to get, because as a gluten-free person, the sad thing is that I can't actually have the wrap, but the breakfast wrap is the easiest to turn into a bowl because then it becomes a scramble. It is essentially a Ronto scramble. Like it's the eggs and the pork with the pork and the cheese and the sauce, and it's amazing. Yeah.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I've done the Ronto wrap without like the wrap just in general, but it just becomes like coleslaw with like the meat. It's a lot. It's very, very, very crunchy.
The sausage, yeah.
It's like a whole bed of like slaw and like the sausage and stuff. And it's like, whoa, this is a little challenging to eat. But yeah, no,
I like the further normalization of spotchka, and I hope one day to actually like have some, because now it's been on The Mandalorian and it's been on the Book of Boba Fett. I think it's appeared somewhere else as well. I want to see the comics, but yeah.
Do they not have that at Uga's Cantina? I've only been like twice.
Yeah, because it was when Kara showed up in The Mandalorian, and then here it was on the table where Fennec and Boba were eating. There was like a big old vat of it.
But do they sell
I'm gonna
that
check
at,
my app.
Yeah, do they sell that at the cantina?
They totally should, because that's an opportunity right there.
Right? Like, do they just like not have the imports on like Batu or something? Because it's everywhere on Tatooine apparently, and it's on the little river planet, whatever that is, wherever that mom lived.
Yeah, they don't have
that. Yeah, it looks like an
why do I feel like there was
weird.
Yeah, I felt like they had a blue wine. Or I don't know if I'm misremembering something. Or am I confusing it?
There might be some kind of blue drink, but it wasn't spotchka.
Right, they had a drink that was like a ginger, like a mule, and it was blue.
Right.
I forgot the name of it, but it was a seasonal one that they had for, I think it was like May the 4th, right? It wasn't for Life Day, I don't think.
No.
It was for something before.
I'm so distracted. I saw this other absolutely delicious non-alcoholic beverage at Oga's. It's called the Blue Bantha, and you get a cookie with it.
Ooh.
Oh. I had like, it wasn't alcoholic, but it was like a chai tea latte sort of drink. Hang on, I'm gonna find it. Like, it was so good. Oh wait, is it this one? Oh, I had the Mugen tea, and that was Gold Peak unsweetened tea, chocolate milk, vanilla, and cinnamon, topped with vanilla whipped cream.
Ooh, that sounds so yummy.
It was so good. But yeah, I see the Blue Bantha here too, and that looks delicious too.
Yeah, right? That looks really good. That's super yummy. And I love those, and I love the hot chocolate at Batu that comes with like purple glitter.
Oh my god.
That looks
I haven't had any of this.
My favorite one!
Oh,
I miss it so much.
I'm dying.
I'm the weirdo that knows that they haven't brought it back yet, I think.
They haven't? Oh my god, they didn't bring it up. Not for winter or anything?
No, I don't think so. Because I went
weird.
I think I went in December once, and I usually go to Batu, and they used to have it at Rancho's Roasters or inside Docking Bay, and it was my favorite thing to order because it was, I love hot chocolate. I'm a connoisseur of the hot cocos at Disneyland.
They're good. They're really good. I don't know what
They
kind of
are.
chocolate they use. It's like it's good stuff.
Okay.
I thought like at first I thought it was just because there was like hot chocolate in Star Wars land, but no, it's actually good.
Yeah. They have like a little bit of like cinnamon on that one, and the purple whipped cream is delicious. I think it's slightly milk based. I think that one is, but because I know most of like the Disneyland like vending hot cocos or like the hot water with the Nestle powder, and you have to make sure to get to one of those stands when there's a good portion of powder. Otherwise, you get very, very watery with like a little bit of chocolate powder, and that's just sad. not a good thing. But yeah, no, I mean, obviously, unless you go to like Jolly Holiday where they have the Mexican abuelita hot chocolate and their hot chocolate there. So,
gosh, I miss it. I want to go back. Everybody should get their shit together by March so that I can go for my birthday.
Please.
I know I got tickets for Star Wars night in May, so I'm like, please, everything be okay by then.
Yes. Whitney, tell us about Star Wars night. Tell us about Star Wars night.
Oh, so yeah, so basically it's just going to be after dark. So if it's from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m., March 3rd and 4th, and then the 27th. So those 3 dates. So it's going to be those few hours after dark, and it's going to be like themed, Star Wars themed parades and meet and greets and extra themed like treats and drinks and all kinds of cool Star Wars themed fireworks shows and stuff. So I'm like, I'm so stoked.
Yeah, I have one of the nights during Celebration, which I have no idea if it's gonna happen, but if it does, I'm all taken care of, save for like my room. Like my roommates were like, it's not happening, so we're canceling our room, and I was like, okay, well, I'll figure it out.
Oh no, I hope you find a room. Yeah, I never got to do Star Wars weekends. Do y'all feel like they're gonna bring that sort of vibe to this after like dark event?
I wish. I hope so. I haven't been to a Star Wars After Dark, so maybe you can speak better to this, Whitney. But like, I did go to like the early aughts Star Wars weekends where like there were prequel characters out, like Anakin and Padme were out, and Shakti. And like, I would really love that. Like, I know they can't put them in Batu, which is a huge shame, but like, Tomorrowland's right there. Like,
yeah, it's like, do it, please. And it's cool because you can also dress up too, so that's a lot of fun. That'll be a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, no, that sounds so exciting. I'm just like hesitant to go because like I'm trying to like justify my dream key by going at least twice a month usually, but obviously with like the rising cases right now, I've canceled a bunch of my reservations, so I'm literally just like trying to force myself to go once because it's like you're paying $100 a month, like I have to justify it. And try to do it safely. And like I want to go to Star Wars night, but then that's like an additional like good amount of money on top of what I already pay a month, so I might miss out on that. I did do the Oogie Boogie Bash just because they were rolling out all the like Disney Plus Marvel characters, and like Marvel like Zombie Cap was, I had to go meet them. So
I saw that. That looks so dope.
That was super cool.
During that time, I had a really good paying job, and I was like, okay, I can like this job is letting me not have a life, so I'm gonna spend stupid money and go to this.
Right. Exactly. It makes sense. And like I am hoping that with Star Wars night, because it's like a smaller and ticketed event, like that's why I think I'll like, if it's still on, even if like the con gets canceled, I'd still be willing to go. Because the park is like what, a 60% capacity or something for that. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah. If I'm no longer a poor by then and there's still tickets available, I would love to go. Especially if they do end up doing a lot of like the Star Wars weekend stuff. Like I started going to Disney World pretty late in the game, so I've only done Star Wars celebrations here in Anaheim and like just hung out like with people afterwards, but didn't get to do that sense of like the parades or like the unique characters that were in the parks over there. So I hope that I could at least experience some of that this year. fingers crossed that things start to improve soon.
Yeah.
But does it seem like, do you guys think Star Wars Celebration will go on, or do you think we might not be happening?
So what I have heard is that like about February-ish is when they're going to be looking at calling it. That is just from like someone I saw who's an event planner on Twitter and stuff. It's like right now he said that like event planners are really trying not to cancel stuff, but like everything's getting canceled here. Like I had 2 premieres to go to this month, and they're all digital now, thankfully, you know, because I wouldn't want to go anyway. So yeah, I don't know, like, well, I'd say wait until like mid to late February, which unfortunately is like so close to the event. So
yeah, I mean, like, and also I think this year's a D23 Expo year too. Like, do we think that's gonna happen?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I'm watching what's happening, like echoing out from this past weekend, because like there was like Anime Expo, or not Anime, Anime Los Angeles was this past weekend in Southern California, but it was over in Long Beach where there are like no mask mandates, and I think and some other stuff, and so I'm waiting 2 weeks to see how that plays out, and I hope like, you know, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, I don't think I'm able to call anything right now when it comes to how these like variants are going to like shift and change, because like May last year everyone was getting vaccinated, so things got better, but I don't know what it's gonna look like this year.
Yeah, I know, like a lot of us were hoping things like Comic-Con, D23 Expo, Star Wars Celebration would be like our big return to events. I mean, obviously we're hoping with like the rollout of like vaccines and everything that everyone, you know, is able to resume these fun things and events. I love being at the theme parks and doing things with my people.
I miss it so much.
I miss you, yeah.
Yes. I miss themed foods at the theme parks. Like, I just,
dude,
Wookiee cry.
I finally was in a headspace where it's like, I'm ready to go on a cute Disney date, and then the pandemic was like, Disney what? Disney never.
Excuse me?
No, thanks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think the last thing I did was like run into you at Universal and had like hot butter beers to look at the castle. Like, it's funny because like we literally were tucked behind the 3 broomsticks, like in the little back patio area, and watching the light show from the side. We were just sipping our hot butter beers.
Dude, I love hot butter beers so much. Doesn't it taste like atole?
Yes!
That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of atole so much. It's so good.
Yeah, it was good
You're gonna
stuff.
have to try that too,
I
then.
like Universal because like you could go out right after that and get like your rapid and PCR tests in the garage.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, and you can get vaccinated there too. It's one of the really cool options that I had wished that other parks had embraced. Although I did get my vaccines at Six Flags when they had a Megapod, and then I got my booster at Universal. So I suspect that I got sick at these places before we knew COVID was a thing. So at least I've been repaid in that way, that I have had access to things I need.
Yeah,
I remember getting my first vaccine at the Disney Disneyland parking lot.
Right.
When it was over there.
See, I just got mine at like CVS. I want to get it at a cool theme park.
I had like the worst luck at CVS. I would like go up and be like, do you have any available today? And be like, no, we have like a list or whatever, and like go to the website, and it just never worked out for me. So I just would go into places where there was like just drive up, drive through, or like at Universal where you like go there and they have everything apparently. And like I was posting all over Twitter about it because, you know, like I knew a lot of people in this area who were having trouble finding where to get this. So
Yeah, it would be nice if the parks try to, promote, I don't know, what is that, not enforce, but, let everyone know you can get these shots and tests around that area. So, but hey, I don't run the thing, so.
Yes, and like more accessible to KN95 masks, which, by the way, at Shanghai Disney, they have adorable KN95 masks that are characters. I saw them do Year of the Tiger KN95 masks in like a box, and they were like Tigger and Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. They're so freaking cute. Like, I almost was like, I'm very tempted to personal shop this because it's probably going to cost me just as much as trying to find these freaking masks here that people are hiking the prices up for anyways. And then
yeah, that was what I was about to bring up, was like, even after the pandemic, I have a feeling that I'm still going to have masks around, like even if it's just like a little fashion mask over your standard clinical mask. Like, I think I'm still going to have them handy at theme parks, because I like routinely got sick after whenever I go to a theme park or like a big event,
traveling for events, conventions. There's always that like airplane fatigue that you would get from like breathing in all that air and stuff. And I've done a few like work travel trips in like the past few months where I have done the masks like going and coming back from these places and have not felt as like gross as I have in the past, or having that like weird jet lag from like feeling a little like stuffed up. I literally would get there, rest, and like go to work, or like go and do my plans with like with friends. I'm just like wistfully, like I feel like I have like the 1,000-yard stare of like I'm thinking of all the things we were able to do just a few months ago that we can no longer do right now, and I'm also craving a Ronto ramp.
It's probably gonna be seasonal. Like once March hits and like we can go through another round of boosters that are upgraded for Omicron, then life might be normal for a little while. So maybe celebration will happen in that look of time, and then the end of summer will come and everyone will be sick again because everyone went out for summer, and then we'll have like a period again, and then October, November, it'll be all right, and then and hopefully by 2023, that's how I've always kind of thought that was gonna be like 2023 would be it when we finally like stopped fucking up, but I'm hopeful.
No, totally. I am hopeful too. And honestly, some of my sanity comes from shows like Book of Boba Fett. And I just like know that Disney Plus is just going to keep us going. Like just riding that wave of like WandaVision to now,
And we got Obi-Wan coming up too.
Obi-Wan, yes.
So excited.
Wait.
So we can watch things at home and be able to hang out on the internet at least just like this to talk about all the things we loved about the shows we watched, even though they do make us crave theme park food that we can't get as quickly as before. Not just because of like the pandemic, but also because of the reservation system. That is not great.
Because
that's a whole other can of worms.
I've heard horror stories, yes.
Yeah. The horror stories being that like I can't make plans with my friends because if we try to get reservations on the same day, one of us gets it, the other one does not, and it's just crazy, like no thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
So, thank you, Bob. Cheapek. It's just not like a slander channel at all. Nope. But yeah, we are here to discuss awesome, fun things about Disney Plus because it's amazing, and they are not our overlords at all. Nope. It's not where all my check money goes.
Disney starts paying me, I'll let you guys know. I'll be open about it. I'll be like, does Disney pay me to do this? Hashtag ad.
Hashtag ad. Oh my gosh. Like that's like the most frustrating thing when they're like, oh, Disney paid you to give this a good review, and it's like, do you see my like bank account? I'm a broke person. Like
right?
I give them money for the things that they give me.
I wish that would make up a lot of money. Yeah, like goodness knows, like I've paid way more into Disney than they've ever paid me. So
yes. Oh my gosh.
If I had to say good things, yeah, exactly. I'll say all the good things. I'll say whatever you want me to say.
Right? They need money and Disneyland food, but it has to be both. It can't be one or the other. Actually, it can't be one, but you know.
Like, get in my contract, admission to the parks, please. Just
yes.
Admission to the
parks. All food.
We're not chills at all. Oh my gosh. Well, it was awesome to chat with all of you. Let's I'm still trying to figure out how to like do our little go around the council meeting here of saying our little things. But Whitney, tell people where they can find you and if you have anything interesting coming up that you want us to check out.
Yeah, you can find me on social media on Instagram under Whimsical Whitney. And you'll definitely see a lot of themed foods and baked treats and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So yeah.
Will you be recreating anything from this past episode?
Yes, actually, I definitely want to do the dust crepes. I kind of want to do the spotchka, the blue wine, different things. I want to experiment with that banquet stuff though, because it looks so good.
Yes. Mike?
So you can find me at I am Michael J. Lee, and I write for That's It LA. That's It LA. I'm sorry, I'm not slurring my words. The Nerds of Color and We Live Entertainment. And I'll be looking forward to Whitney's cooking. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And Catrina?
You can find me anywhere if you look for Catrina. That's OHCATRINA. Anywhere on the internet. And you will find all my upcoming and past going projects there that I have forgotten completely as I speak.
Amazing. And I'm Sabina Graves. You can find me on Twitter at Sabina Has No R and on Instagram at That Lady Graves. I tweet and share all the stuff that I'm up to on those outlets for various outlets like Nom Talk Network and Nerds of Color, as well as just a lot of places, honestly. We'll actually be back on Friday for a Peacemaker basic binges, which I'm excited for the challenge of trying to figure out what in that episode we can use as ideas for food or fun food inspired things, which with how violent Suicide Squad was. We'll see what will come out of that. Whitney, if you're interested in checking that show out, it'll be here in this space on Friday. And signing off. May the force be with you. And Grogu, where are you, Grogu?